Have you ever wondered how to get this soft, gloomy look in your photos? Well, I would say there are two different ways to achieve this. Number one, by buying a filter, a so-called Pro Mist filter that diffuses the light. You add it to your lens and off you go. The second way is by doing it in post-production. And I will show you now how you can easily achieve this look in Photoshop. And it is easily adjustable. So without wasting any more time, I would say let's get started. This is the photo we are going to edit now in Photoshop to add this bloom effect. And first, what I'm going to do is create a duplicate layer. Then come up here to filters and go to blur and select Gaussian blur. You can also go with motion blur or try out another blur filter here, but I'm gonna go with this one for now. And I'm making it somewhat like this. So you want to pick a value, it will depend on your photo obviously, but you can still see a tiny bit of your actual elements, but no more details, sort of. I would probably go with something like this for now. You can play around, try around a tiny bit with that. And then what I'm going to do is set this now to screen. This is not the final result, so don't worry. Because what we're going to do now is click over here, down here, you can find the button to add a layer mask. Let's rename it actually. Let's rename it to Bloom. So I have this layer now selected and I'm gonna go down here to this icon to add a layer mask. And boom, nothing has happened. So what we want to do next is actually select the layer mask and then click up here. If you don't have this, you need to go and open your properties window. You can do this by going up here to window and then enable properties. I have it here right open, and then you, with your layer mask selected, you click on color range. And then this new window pops up. And here you have the option to sample a specific color from your photo, or you can also go with all the reds or the yellows. Can you see how it changes a tiny bit here already? Now I just have all the highlights selected. You can also go with midtones and so on and so forth. But usually what I like to do is actually sample my own color where I want to have this bloomy effect. So with this mode selected, I'm gonna hover over my photo and see, okay, I want to have some gloomy effect around here. See how when I move over my photo, how the preview changes? So I think I like it around here. And now you can see, okay, my values are like a bit expressive. Let's call it like that. You can adjust all of this here. So fuzziness is like how spread out, diffused you would like to have the effect, kind of. I think I would go with something like this. And then the range, as you can see, it will either select a greater variety of the sample color or less. I think I'm gonna go with something like this. I always like to keep it at a higher range because then, in my opinion, it looks a bit more natural than just having it like in a really, really small targeted area. But again, it will depend on your photo. And then you can play around with these values a bit, with the fuzziness. You can also increase the fuzziness more and then tone down the range. So I think I'll go with something. And then obviously you can also like adjust the area where you're sampling. That's a bit too much for me. I want it really fuzzy actually. I think this is fine. And now I'm just gonna click on OK. And now if we see the before and after, this is what it looks like. I feel like this effect in her eyes, in this case, are a bit too much. So what I'm gonna do is, with my layer mask selected here on the right, I'm gonna use a brush tool with the black color selected, which means that I'm actually erasing parts from my layer mask. And then I'm just gonna go and, oh, this is a bit too strong and I don't want it to be hard. Let's go like this. And we're just gonna adjust this a tiny bit to make her eyes a bit less shiny. And here I would like to probably add back a tiny bit more again. Okay. Here we go. This is now really subtle actually. You can adjust it the way you want. You can make it more shiny. You can also arrange, you can also adjust this layer mask again, have it selected, go to color range, and you can be like, okay, no, I actually want more in over here, more over here. You can really just like play around. And adjust it to whatever you prefer. And then you can also, yeah, I would suggest you go with screen. There's also the option of lighten, but I feel like it usually focuses a lot on, I usually feel like it focuses on a lot on the edges only, and screen is a bit more spread out. And this is actually it. Let's see one more time, the before and the after.